Let me be very clear about this before we get started, okay? This episode is neither inspirational nor educational. This is for entertainment purposes only. I do not even really have a direction for this. I just need to share what is currently happening in my life. And if you are in the same situation as me, let me reiterate I have nothing for you. The only thing I have is for you to know that you are not alone. Child, your girl is living life in the luteal lane on her way down the Perimenopause Parkway. And honey, this ain't nothing to play with, okay? Okay, y'all. Let's get into it. This is Looking for My Fit. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Looking for My Fit podcast. My name is Jamaica, and on this podcast, I talk about all things going on in my life. It's usually around faith, family, fitness, fun, today, follicular phases. Oh, I am so tickled before we even get started. But if there is something that is happening in my life that I feel like others can get some type of positive impact from, that is what I hop on this mic and talk about. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. What a day to show up. I'm so happy that you are here. I hope that you feel at home. I hope that you feel welcome. And I hope that if you enjoy this episode, you will hit subscribe so that you do not miss any episodes that come out in the future. And if you are an OG listener, you already know I love you. I love you big, and I mean it. Thank you so much for continuing to support by listening and by sharing and sending messages. I cannot thank you enough. And before I go on, I just want to give a shout out. I don't know the name, but y'all, I was so excited the other day because if you look in the show notes, there is a little hyperlink that says send a text. And I've mentioned it on the episode before, but outside of one, somebody did send me like some emojis, but outside of that, I mean, and I'm grateful for that too. But outside of that, I've never received a message through that. And I got my first message the other day. I got a notification and I was like, what? So this is from someone who, and y'all, if you can hear that, there's a train in the background, but you know, that's to be expected on the luteal lane to the perimenopause parkway. But anyway, the message from Knoxville, Tennessee said, Girl, episode 91, walk with purpose. Thank you for helping me get through my sink full of dishes with the mentality that I am doing it with purpose for my hubby and littles. Oh my, yeah. Whoever sent that, thank you. That made my entire day. I'm glad that you've been able to find purpose in everything that you do. So if you haven't listened to episode 91, you should definitely go back and listen to that. Talked about, a lot of times we focus on walking in purpose instead of walking with purpose, and that can definitely have a positive change on your life and how you move throughout your day. So, listener from Knoxville, Tennessee, thank you so much for that message. I am so grateful. If I had a huge smile on my face and made my day. So if you'd like to send a message, I would love to hear from you. Again, if you look in the show notes, it should be on every podcasting platform. There's a little hyperlink right above where the description of the podcast is. It says send a text. You can click there and you can send it straight from your cell phone. Now, I have made this disclaimer before. You know that I don't know if you have fees through your mobile company. Check with your company. I want to be like, it's free. Again, I don't think people have to do nights and weekends anymore. That is very old school, back in the day. But don't take my word for it. You should know your own provider plan. And if it is free, go ahead and click that and send a text. We'd love to hear from you. Okay. Y'all, let me tell you something. When you are in elementary school, or at least when I was in elementary school, I'm 45. You used to have sex education classes, okay? Sex education classes, they give you the basics. They tell you about the stuff that is going on with your body currently, and what you can expect to possibly happen through your teenage years. They talk about how babies are made and in the process of that happening. And they also talk about you having a menstrual cycle. But what they do not tell you about is perimenopause. I would like to make an appeal to the school systems of America. Ask them to update their curriculum. Listen, I am a certified K-12 curriculum specialist. Hit me up. I will help you write this curriculum. We need to know what to expect when we're getting up in our 40s. Because if I'm not learning it in my sex education class in elementary school, where am I supposed to get this information? Right now, it is Instagram and TikTok. I'm really in Instagram and TikTok University learning more about perimenopause, which I have found out can occur for a decade, a whole 10 years. You can deal with perimenopause symptoms. The average time for perimenopause is 4 years. Now, what is perimenopause? I don't really know. Oh, no, really, it is like that stage in between where you're having your cycles regularly and you are also going into menopause, where that cycle is coming to a stop. I probably should have looked this up before, but let's see. Let's look up and find good old Google and see what this says. It says during perimenopause, your ovaries produce fewer eggs and less estrogen. So again, things I guess are kind of slowing down, but let me tell you, other things are speeding up. Let me tell you what is so funny. Um, I realize now that there is a good chance I have been in perimenopause for some time. The craziness is that sometimes you get so accustomed to something and something is so common that you think it is normal. Okay. That's a whole podcast episode by itself. Sometimes things can be so common that you think it is normal. It becomes a thing that you get used to. For most women, we are just movers and shakers. We know how to just operate. When something comes up, we'll make a quick pivot. We figure out how to deal with it. We keep going. We don't ever really stop to think like, hmm, why is this thing occurring? We just say, oh Lord, what is this? And then we find a way to work around it. My first indication that perimenopause was starting should have been a couple years ago when I first started going to get my facials with my girl Eris. When I would go, it took me a minute to realize it. There was a time when I got on a new schedule. And so I used to go to Eris every month, like clockwork. She has moved now. That's why I say used to. I still use the products, but I don't get to see her for the facials. But I used to go like clockwork every month. And every time that I would go to her, I noticed for those it was quite a few months in a row that I went to her and I would get there and she would say, so how's your skin doing? Are there any problem areas? And I'm like, yes, like my skin is so dry around like my mouth area, particularly to the side um of like my mouth and then around my chin. So it would look like a beard of ash. My face would be so dry. And I couldn't understand because I wasn't changing anything, but it just seemed like that's what it was doing every time I went to her. Well, in my mind at the time, I thought it was an indicator that I most definitely needed to be going in for my facial. Your time is up. We have done the best that we can. As skin cells, you need to go get a professional to have us removed. So I was thinking it was just this once a month thing that was coming up where I needed to get a deeper level of exfoliation for my face. Well, one day she asked me, she said, Do you think it's like your toothpaste? And when she said that, I said, girl, I bet that's what it is. Because I had, at the time when she said that, been using a newer or different toothpaste than what I had normally been using. So the day that she said that, I was like, girl, I absolutely bet that that's what is causing this skin issue around my mouth. That day I got home and I brushed my teeth and I realized, girl, you're not putting toothpaste all around your mouth like that. You know, the brushing your teeth can be a little, it ain't the prettiest thing that you do, but you do not have toothpaste all around your mouth and hanging off your chin. Like, what? Why did you picture yourself doing that? That is not what you do. Well, then I realized that every time, no lie, every single time I went to go see her, my cycle was on. And so I made the connection that the dry skin around my face was not coming from the toothpaste or the fact that I needed a deeper level of exfoliation. That dry skin was coming from my cycle getting ready to start. I actually have an episode. Hold on, give me a second. Y'all, I'm all over the place, but this is what the lutealphase does. Let me find this episode that I talk about it. And at the time, even when I talked about that, I don't even think I was in that space of being like, is this perimenopause? I believe it's episode 80. Uh okay. I don't know. It is something dealing with menopause. Hold on, y'all. I'm determined. Oh, here we go. It's episode number 83. It's called What's Love Got to Do with It? Valentine's Day, PMS, and Dry Skin. Oh my. So you go listen to episode 83. And I was really just attributing it to PMS, but I was not thinking like, girl, you were in your 40s. Maybe, just maybe, it could be perimenopause. And the reason I didn't think it was perimenopause is because I really didn't know anything about it. You know what I'm saying? We're over here building the plane as we fly it. Well, thankfully, that has become something that is more talked about now, and you can get on, Instagram, especially, and you'll see a lot of people having conversations around perimenopause. So again, it's like this time in between where you just your body's regularly producing these eggs, and then you're going into that phase where your cycle is about to slow down, and it's like that in between phase. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Like, very seldom is the in between phase of anything great. If you're growing your hair out, you're growing your hair out. It's that little in between phase that you like, a child. It ain't long enough to put in a ponytail, but I also should really put on a hat. Oh, oh Lord. So it's like that. And then in middle school, if you ever worked in middle school, grades 6 through 8, it's something about that seventh grade group. Honey, 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 honey. Seventh graders will definitely give you a closer relationship with the good Lord above, because it's just something about that in between. They are no longer the new kids on the block. They're no longer the babies coming from elementary school, but they're also not the top dogs. They're not the eighth graders who feel like they're so cool and mature and they've settled down some. They are wild. Seventh grade is not for the weak. Okay. So it's something about that in between phase. It's just like, yes, that's the best way I can describe that. So I'm very much in an in between phase. Now, I can't speak for everybody else. I can only speak for myself. But I have found that as I ease my way on this perimenopause parkway, I am primarily living life in the luteal lane. And if you don't know what that is, you're probably like, why she keep saying luteal lane? What does luteal mean? Well, let me be the one to tell you. I did pull that up, and the luteal phase is the second and final phase of the menstrual cycle, lasting approximately 14 days after ovulation. So, this is the last little phase before the red waves come a crashing. Okay. Now, here are the common luteal phase symptoms: mood changes, bloating, breast tenderness, acne, fatigue, headaches, constipation, or diarrhea. Look, you can get either one. Isn't that great for us? Um, Food cravings, increased appetite, weight gain, and then spotting or irregular bleeding. Well, let me tell you about the luteal phase. Honey, the luteal phase has me repeating the lines from Viola Davis in The Help constantly. You is kind, you is smart, you is important. Emphasis on you is kind. Honey, I I have to put forth great effort, okay, to continue to be very kind. So anytime you've come across me and you have seen me and you're like, man, her energy is good. She's so kind. She's so nice. Just know that I am putting up the fight of my life. Oh, I am out here, okay, swinging on perimenopause. Y'all, here is the thing for me with the luteal phase. If we go back to these symptoms, the mood changes, the bloating, the breast tenderness, and the acne. I don't get a ton of it, but again, my face gets really dry, and I'm guaranteed to get at least one bump that's going to show up somewhere near my chin area. Normally, oh, also for mine, I get what's called premenstrual sciatic pain. I can know when my cycle is coming because my sciatic nerve like flares up. Love that for me. So I can typically know, like if I look at my calendar for when my cycle should be coming, if things are starting to irritate me and I'm like, why are you breathing so loud? Ooh, why you blinking so much? When those things start to irritate me, I can look at my phone and look at the calendar and be like, oh, the red wave is near. You are in the luteal phase. The good thing is when my cycle actually starts, y'all, it is truly like a weight has been lifted. I the bloating is gone, the cramping is gone. My skin, y'all, it's almost like instant. Like the next day, you can tell and you can visually see a difference in my skin the next day. And my mood just feels so much lighter. It is, and the sciatic nerve pain, y'all, starts dissipating quickly. Here's the issue. My cycle has gotten to the point where it is very irregular. It used to come 28 days on the dot. And if it was off, it maybe be off like one day. So we're talking like 27 or 28. It will usually fall in there. Well, now this sucker is all over the place. 28 days, 32 days, 37 days, 43 days. It is hard for me to tell. The problem is my body is still on a 28-day cycle. Okay. So emotionally, my body, 28 days. Physically, could be 43. We don't know how long this cycle is. The luteal phase, excuse me, kicks into gear right before the time when it should come, which is 28 days. And it hangs around until it does come. So if my cycle, instead of being 28 days, is actually 38 days, then I have 10 extra days of luteal madness. I have to put my family on alert. Listen, guys, mama loves you. Woo, mama loves you. And I am doing the best that I can. But don't try me. Oh gosh. Y'all, I'm just so much more vocal. So I'm not like a mad woman. I'm not saying that I'm giving myself license to go out here and just be showing out. I don't do that. I'm very well aware most times, like, we are over here in this lane and everybody in the other lanes are irritating you very much. So I don't get mean, and I'm not out here acting up, but I'm going to tell you my level of annoyance and irritation, it, it gets pretty high. And I really have to put forth a conscious effort not to, tap people, tell them look up and punch them in the throat. I really have to say, I'm just more vocal. Things that I would normally say, like pick and choose your battles. I choose them all. Choosing all the battles in this luteal phase. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. But I'm out here, as Mariah Carey would say, I'm doing the best I can with what I got. I'm giving you. I'm so tickled. I'm doing the best that I can. That is it. So again, I am fully aware, and being aware is half the battle. I will tell you this though, I have been fighting it for a long time to even say it out loud because I do believe there's like power in the tongue. So you got to be mindful what you speak. And I still don't want to speak that I'm there. I want to believe that it's just going to just go away. I talked to my mom and I'm like asking her when she went through menopause, and she kind of slid through the thing easy breezy, lemon squeezy, unless she just didn't realize that she was there. But she was like, she was 45 in 1 month, her cycle just did not come back. And so there was a time when especially when I hit like one of those 40 some day streaks, I was like, oh, we have followed suit. And then I got a knock on the door. Hey girl, just want to let you know I'm here. I'm not gonna make too much noise, but tomorrow I'll be out in full force. Thank you. Oh, love that for me. So I as much as I don't want to speak it, sometimes it's just a reality that I do believe that's where I am. Now, again, I have had no medical diagnosis. This is, social media slash internet slash chat GPT that is giving me my information. But I am in the process of finding another doctor. I don't have a problem with the current one, but the one that I had most recently, um, was a new doctor because we moved. And while they were kind, I just really feel my personal preference right now is to have a woman, because I feel like she might be able to speak more to what it is that I'm experiencing and just have a deeper level of empathy and be more likely to really like hear me out and let me know if there is anything else that I need to be doing or something I could be doing. I know that diet is really important. So I will say that this last cycle that came on, it did hit at the 28-day mark. So it came on like 28 days, even though the cycle prior had been much longer. This one came on time, and it was coming at the time when y'all know I have been making changes to my nutrition. And so I was eating a lot less processed food, a lot less sugar, drinking a lot more water. And I can honestly say that the symptoms were not as as they've been before. So I'm definitely gonna keep that in mind. It's a process when you're making a lifestyle change to switch over and find foods that you like and that you enjoy and that are also good for you, and then just doing research behind foods that don't cause inflammation, foods that help to reduce inflammation, because that's a huge thing too. So I'm still working my way through all of those things and trying to hold it in the road there. Um, but in the future, I am looking for a doctor. I asked for some recommendations. Somebody gave me somebody who they said was really good. And when I went to go call them, they were booked out so far. So I got added to a wait list. But somebody else gave me another suggestion. So I have another doctor that I'm going to reach out to. So everything that I'm sharing, like I said, this is entertainment purposes only. But I just wanted somebody to know, like, if you are in this wild phase of in betweenness, you're not alone. I am gonna go again to the doctor, see what more information I can receive, just so I can really, fight the good fight. Oh, but thankfully, I work with women and it has just been hilarious because it's not just me. And so we just have a joke, like, we can tell when somebody else is irritated, it would be like, "Whoo, luteal face, honey child. If you want it, you can get it, let me know. I'm ready." You know, people say, "She don't want to smoke." You be like, bring it. Need to let off some of this aggressiveness. Bring it." Uh, but, it's been good to be able to laugh through it, though it's not a laughing matter. So yeah, if you're in that phase, you're not alone. I'm gonna go to the doctor, I get the appointment, whatever information I get. Again, I'm not a specialist, but I'll be happy to share what I learned for me and anything that I'm doing that seems to help, you know, navigate, especially that thing, man. Woo, that luteal phase is something I've said it 1,000 times because it's raw. I'm trying to tell you. Um, but I just think, the more we talk about it, the more we learn, the more prepared we can all be. So I will definitely make sure that, my daughters are prepared, and I will also make sure my son is prepared. I sent Carlos a video the other day. I don't know if y'all follow Kev on Stage on Instagram. He's hilarious. And he basically just said, luteal face. Fellas, if I can give you anything to research, go and research that. And I said it to him and he was cracking up because I was straight up said, "Hey, listen, bruh, today ain't the day. I love you. And I am putting up a good fight because I is kind of smart, as important, but I'm struggling today. So if you could just be a little bit kind and stay out my way." Oh, oh Lord, I am great. Listen, if ever I've been grateful for having for loving to laugh and being able to find humor in things, this is the time. This is it. So again, if you have been in this place and you're like, I don't really know what's going on, because again, until not too long ago, this was not a very open, talked about type of subject, but you feel like maybe as you get older, you thought your PMS would get better, but it seems to be getting worse and your body seems to be making changes and you don't know what's going on, go and just do a little research on perimenopause and reach out to your doctor. Go make an appointment and talk about things, because that's exactly what it is that I'm getting ready to do. So once again, if you feel like you are in that space, I have nothing for you except to tell you you are not alone. I mean, we can do this with the proper education and the right, healthcare advocates. We can navigate this thing. So, y'all, once again, if you would like to send me your perimenopause stories, I'd love to hear anything that you have to share. You can click that hyperlink that says send a text, or you can feel free to message me on Instagram looking for my fit, all lowercase, all one word. I would love to hear anything that you have to share, even if it's just hilarious. I love to laugh. I would love to hear from you. So again, if you're new, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And to the rest of you, thank you so much for continuing to tune in. I love you big, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.